Hello, and welcome to Roz's Happy Hour, Season 2, Episode 6. I'm your girl, Roz, and your host for this broadcast today. How is everybody? What's happening? It's Wednesday. This is brought to you by Trisha Entertainment. Happy Women's Month, History Month. Who is a woman that has inspired you? Put it in the comments, share it with us. For me, it was my mother. She was just a phenomenal woman. And also Mary D. She's WGN Chicago for years. So please share in your comments. Also, I want to let you know, if you need an artist, speaker, or celebrity that we've had on our show, please, I'd love to be your resource. That's what we're doing these for. You know, we're going to get back out there so we can help you with your next event virtually or, live when it's time to go live. So anyway, I'm going to jump right in. Be sure and follow me on Roz's YouTube station. We are so grateful to be able to have this conversation today with our next guest. She is an amazing gospel artist. She was 5th runner up in season 10, BET Sunday's Best. That's huge out of thousands. Okay, my girl was like in there. She's also the lead singer of Larry Graham, Grand Central Station, and she's also my friend. Please welcome Ms. Ashling Cole. Hey, unmute.
Hi.
Hey, what's happening?
What's going on, Roz? Good to see you. I have to correct you. I was actually 4th runner-up.
Oh, my
Sunday
bad.
Best. I actually came
My
in 4th.
bad.
I'm like, give me that 4. Hold on. Give me that 4. My spiritual son, Marquise Harris, came in 5th place. He was eliminated. I was eliminated right after him. So we're forever bonded. We're forever bonded on that
show. All right. Well, my bad. I apologize.
It's all good. It's all good.
But you know, we've been knowing each other. Oh my God. We go back like 20 years, Ashling. 1999.
Wow. Wow.
And do you remember how we met? I didn't either.
So
but
I don't remember how we met, but I remember being at your house, and I remember very clearly looking at a brochure for I believe it was a PT Cruiser, and the PT Cruiser was just coming out, I think. And we were sitting on a couch down, like you had another living room downstairs. There was one upstairs and there was another one down, a big old house on a hill. And we were sitting downstairs, and I can't remember. Somebody was looking at buying this PT Cruiser, which was like this new up and coming, car that was revolutionary and all of that stuff. I don't know if you bought it or not. I just remember sitting there looking at this car. This catalog for this car.
No,
then we were in the backyard and we were singing, and you had celebrities there, and oh my goodness, yes. But I don't remember how I ended up there. How did I end up there with you?
So I had to go back and think. As you get my age, you start forgetting. But my husband, he don't forget nothing, and he sends his regards. You're one of his favorites.
Yes,
so
I love him so much.
But we had just come off a cruise, booking the entertainment for Blue World Travel. And you and Gina was singing at the picnic. And we brought Ollie Woodson.
Yes.
It was in the backyard. In fact, it was KBLX Timothy Alexander White.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Timothy Alexander White. Yes.
It was at his house. And then I ended up at your house, and you had a little baby at the time.
Wow. That baby is 22 years old now. She's 22.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh my God. That is just time does fly. She's beautiful too. How's your son?
Yes.
He's so handsome.
Yes, and he's 19. Yes, 6'4". Like, yes, absolutely. Yes. Grown babies now. I got grown babies.
Whoa. Well, tell me this. I mean, you've been singing since you were young. I mean, at a young age.
Yes. I actually knew at 6 years old that I wanted to sing, and I grew up in San Francisco, and my dad I was daddy's girl. And I was an only child. I was raised an only child, and so it was kind of one of those things where it's like whatever she wants. He was a longshoreman, so he had a good job, and I just saw an ad in the San Francisco Chronicle for the San Francisco Girls Chorus. And I was like, Daddy, I want to do that. And I had already been singing. My mom was a singer. She would sing Irish folk music. Her sisters all sang, a musical family. Never really did anything with their musical talent. But I knew very early on that I wanted to do that. And so I studied opera for the first 6 years really of my career. So from 6 until 12, I studied opera, which is really what gave me my foundational training. And why people ask me, like, and I'm sure you've heard this, but being on the road with Larry Graham, with Prince, with Sheila E., and you've got to sing night after night after night after night. And I'm not talking about little bitty singing. I'm talking about like singing.
Yes.
It's that operatic training that I just don't get hoarse. I don't lose my voice. I am very disciplined when it comes to my vocal warm-ups and how I take care of myself. I don't drink, I don't smoke, and get enough rest and drink a lot of water and all of those things. But the vocal warm-ups and that foundational training really sort of set me apart from a lot of people who end up with vocal trauma, vocal nodules, lots of things can happen being out on the road, singing night after night.
Well, how did you transition from opera to R&B? Because there's a lot of other things you could have done.
Girl, I'll tell you 2 words: Whitney Houston. That's what changed my life. I heard Whitney Houston and I was like, oh, I don't want to do opera anymore. I want to do that.
Whoa.
So I heard her first album, her first, Whitney was her first album. And I remember hearing, How Will I Know, and Saving All My Love for You, and The Greatest Love of All, and All at Once. Oh my goodness. Like, those were the songs that really just kind of took me into a whole nother realm. And I grew up, I didn't grow up in church. And so I was my parents were listening to like Bruce Springsteen and like Bob Dylan and, grassroots kind of, maybe pop music, but not R&B. I wasn't listening to like Stevie Wonder or any of the greats. That didn't come until sort of later when I had to play catch up.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. But you had some musical hurt, I guess. Would you call it that? Early
musical
on?
hurt?
Yeah, or disappointments, I should say.
Sure. Oh yeah. So at 17, I signed to Interscope Records and moved to LA. And I had been weird turn of events. I was singing and doing demos for people, but I was also a dancer. And I auditioned to be a dancer for a rap group in San Francisco, and came to the audition, and I did my audition, and somebody in the back of the interview was like, the audition was like, she sings. You all need to hear her sing. She can dance, but she can really sing. And so they asked me to, like, okay, well, I guess go ahead and sing. And I did. And they chose me to be part of a girls group that had just set up an audition for Interscope Records. And so the day that I joined, we literally went and did the audition. I had never met the girls before. I had never sung with the girls before.
Wow.
But we saw in the parking lot of the audition for this huge record label, threw something together real quick and went in there and signed. Tom McLean actually signed us, and who was responsible really for the Jacksons. Who was part of the Jacksons and all of that. So, but it didn't work out. I thought I was set. I thought that was really. I was now gonna have a career and be rich and famous and all the rest of it, and it just didn't work out that way. And again, another series of events. How many you sometimes life will take you in circles, and you do figure eights until you sort of figure out where you're at. And so,
yes, absolutely,
the record deal fell apart, and I went up home ended up going back home and started waiting tables. And I was like, I'm done. If that's what the music industry is, I'm done. So yeah, I went home and waited tables. Actually, in Emeryville, California, for my Bay Area people. I see Tracy J. Wilson on here and some Bay Area people. I was working at Christie's Bar and Grill that used to be in Emeryville.
Yes.
Right next to Kimball's East.
Yes. Hey, Walt.
which is all shut down now. That's all shut down now. But that's where I was waiting tables.
Wow. Wow. Well, how did you find your way back to music after that period? I
So
mean,
on the weekends, on I think it was Thursday, they started doing it on Thursday night. They started playing, doing karaoke
oh,
at
okay.
Christie's.
Okay,
And so
gotcha.
there was this guy Chuck Lounge that is still a great singer in his own right and recording artist, and he was hosting the karaoke. And one night, I don't think he showed up, and they asked if anybody on the wait staff was available to cover the karaoke, and so I was like, I'll do it. They didn't know I sang, and like to do the karaoke, you have to start the night off by singing a song or two. And so I just kind of went up and sang, and then nobody wanted to sing after me. Like,
No,
we're not singing after her.
you destroyed the place.
Right. Right. And there was a group called Christian in the 90s. And they had a song called Full of Smoke. And they were very well known in Oakland, in the Bay Area. And they came one night to Christie's and heard me sing, and they were like, "We want to have you on our album." So I started recording with them, and yeah. So even though I was in and out sort of music, you know, I went back to corporate America after that. I got married. I had my babies. Music just, you know, was always there. And when I met my who I call my husband, you know, my former husband, my husband, his family was very deeply rooted in church, and that's how I found God. That's how I got saved. That's how I started going to church. And so very, very grateful for that connection. And then it just all made sense. You know, life just all of a sudden just made sense. I became a worship leader, and yeah.
You got to give your gift. You got to share your gift in church. Oh, that's amazing.
That's right.
That's amazing. Let's holler at a couple people, then I'm going to give you guys a treat. When I say this is a singing Ashling. And we just have never had a chance to really like talk. We like when we see each other, we're moving.
That's right.
The last time I saw you was on a flight to either Rome or Venice. We were on our way on the Dave Cause.
Yes.
Cruise.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
You know, and even on the ship, you were working. You were, you know, moving. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You didn't get a chance to to do much. So let's holler at a few people. Who's that? Hey, Sharon. I missed the show and interview. What show? No, you didn't. You're good. Not sure.
Yes, and Tracy A. Freeman. It was just her husband's birthday last week, and I sent her a happy birthday video for her to shout out to Tracy.
Yeah. Lisa Bowman. Hello. Oh, here's Vicky. Hey, Vicky. Some good people. So let me give you guys, I think this is a great time to check out one of Ash. Oh, wait, before I do that, check this out. It's me and you.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
Yeah.
That is a long time ago. Wow. Wow. With the red hair. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Long.
Wow. That was very much Biscuit. Oh, that was the days of.
Yeah. Are you talking about that? Biscuit?
You know, I really kind of let it go. So here's the thing. So for people that know that, so we had a band, Wilton Rabb, who's a guitar player in Graham Central Station, who's from the Bay Area. I met him, you know, kind of doing local shows with different bands in the 2000s. And I didn't know he worked with Larry Graham. And so he wanted to put together his own little band, like a little trio. And so he was him And I forget who was Eric Daniels, who's now on The Voice. He's been on The Voice since it started. He's been the keyboard player on The Voice.
Oh, nice.
Incredible musician. He was Mariah Carey's musical director back in the day, like very, very, very well known. And one other person, and I think it was Brian Collier, who's a great drummer from the Bay Area, now in LA. And me as a lead singer, and they named the band Three Piece and a Biscuit. 3 Piece and a Biscuit. So for all my barbecue eaters out there, you know, when you go to order barbecue, be like, give me a 3 piece and a biscuit.
And a biscuit.
3 piece. That's right. So then everybody just started calling me Biscuit, I guess, because I don't know, I look like I don't know, but anyway.
Oh my God.
That's how that happened.
Yeah.
So when I joined Graham Central Station a few years later, everybody historically in Graham Central Station has a nickname. And so Larry Graham said, well, what's your nickname? I was like, well, I guess it's Biscuit. He was like, I love it. So that's all he calls me. But not, gospel music.
Nah.
No, we're not gonna have the gospel biscuit. That's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So
no, that's not gonna happen. Speaking of gospel music, I grabbed this that I want to share. And every time I hear you singing, because you sing so deep and emotions, I can feel it, So check this out, you guys.
Never would have made it. Oh, never would have made it without you, Lord. I would have lost it all. But now I see you were there for me, and I never would have made it. Never would have made it without you. I'm so grateful, Lord, and now I see you're always there for me, Lord.
Sorry, I had to get up.
Man.
That was just you naturally just singing.
Wow. And I feel like I do that all the time. I feel like I'm not around too many people. I mean, I work. I just recently started working actually at a homeless shelter, which has really been amazing out here in Contra Costa County. And such a blessing, like just the way that it happened, just the fact that I can love on some people that have really been thrown away by society, who have had just the roughest time. And these are, some people are homeless for many years, and some people are brand new homeless for the very first time because of COVID and how it has just torn through our economy and made it very, very difficult in families. And so I just am always singing. I had a couple weeks ago, I had one of our residents who has Alzheimer's, and she was having an episode where she was very upset. And for whatever reason, the staff came and got me to come sit with her, or whatever. They didn't give me any direction, but they were like, hey, we need you to come help with this resident. So I just started asking her questions. Do you like music? Because I've seen many studies about how music is I know for myself, it's very calming. It can get people very focused. And with Alzheimer's patients specifically, there's therapies where they will play music and they won't remember who their family is or their husband or their children, but you'll play a song and they'll know the words, right? So there's something on some other level that we just never forget music. Music touches us. I started asking, well, do you listen to music? She said, yeah, I listen to gospel music. I said, oh, do you listen to hymns? She said, yes, I love hymns. And I said, oh, I have a hymn for you. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear, the Son of God exposes. He speaks, and the sound of his voice is so sweet. The birds hush their singing, and the melody that he gives to me within my heart is calling, and he walks with me, and he talks with me, and he tells me that I am his own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none others ever known. And I'm standing out in the hallway in this facility, and I'm singing this hymn to her, and she just lights up. Yes. She lights up and she starts telling me about her. I got just getting chills right now just thinking about it. She just starts telling me about her family and her daughter, and she's looking out the window and she's like, wow, I wonder where all these people are going. And it was this most beautiful moment, one of the most beautiful moments in my life I've ever experienced with another human being.
Wow.
And it was just like God just in that moment, I just was like, thank you, Lord, that I live a life of service. Thank you that when I wake up in the morning, my first words are, God, use me in a mighty way. Like, show me what my assignment is. So I always have my ear tuned to him. And in that moment, who's to say? Well, it's always a God sighting, right? I'm on the second floor. She's on the fifth floor. There was no reason other than God anointed it and appointed it for me to go up there and be with her and sing this song to her. And she was able to calm down, and we were able to like take care of her and get her, her clothes in order. And it was just amazing. It was just so amazing. And it's one of those life lessons where you just go, you know what? As long as I keep my ear tuned to him, that's all I need to do. Just keep my ear tuned to him. I don't care what kind of mess is going on. I don't care when people get noisy and loud and things are frustrating. Find a quiet place and just tune your ear to him. And I promise you, he's going to give you the direction that you need to go in. And it's always going to be a better direction than you would have chosen for yourself.
You just got to sit quietly and listen to him. You got to kind of discern his voice.
That's right. That's right.
He will guide you and direct your steps.
Absolutely.
So, we have a lot in common. And I haven't had a chance to communicate that with you, but you went through some illness, and then, let's back up. I went through losing my mom, and she was in a coma for a month. And, you go through all these emotions up and down. I wasn't in the Word at the time, but I picked up the Bible and I started reading to her, and the machines were going off, and I put the Bible down. I was afraid. I said, is she going to wake up and see me reading the Bible over her? She going to know she's sick, right? And she goes, say, Roz, what? But the doctor came in, and I asked him, I said, if my mom wakes up, I don't want to send her in cardiac arrest, seeing me read the Bible. And he said, no, that's what every mother wants for their daughter, is to know the Lord for himself.
Wow.
So at that time I began my Christian walk. But then, through the years, developed the cancer. And so still under care, but I'm good. I'm free. So I did want to say I knew what you were going through. Well, didn't until after you went through yours. And I was trying to reach out to you to ask you questions because I was so, not knowing. I've never been sick before. So then to get that diagnosis, you're like, what? But my pastor said, stay positive. And when you're in the Word, you have something to pull from, rather than when you're not in the Word. It's, it's harder to hold on to something or know, so.
Absolutely. Well, it's kind of like, there's the way I look at it, there's the truth, there's facts, and then there's the truth, right? So the fact is, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. The fact is I needed to go through treatment. The fact is my mother died of breast cancer. right? These are all the facts. So I can, we can be awesome fact finders, right? If we're looking for all those facts, we're going to find them.
Yes.
But the truth is, by his stripes, I am healed. The truth is that the God that I serve has healing abilities. That if I get in the kingdom, if I get kingdom minded and not world minded, it changes the whole chemistry of the situation, right? And so right from the time that I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and my pastor, shout out to my pastor, Bo Jackson, in Oakland, California, my Life Restoration Ministries family, really what he helped me to see is I'm already healed. I just have to go through the process.
Yeah.
I just have to go through the process. I'm already healed. I just have to go through the process. So when I went for chemo, was it painful? Was it uncomfortable? Was it awkward? Yeah, it was. But you know what? I celebrated it because it was part of the process.
Yes.
You know, when I went through multiple surgeries and I went through, sleepless nights and losing my hair. I mean, my hair is cute now. I think this is the cutest hair I probably ever had. It grew back like this, so losing my hair, I was like, I'm celebrating it because it's part of the process. I'm already healed. I just have to go through the process. And so when we approach our situations, and you can put anything in that sentence, I am already, if you, for my single people out there, if you're looking for a wife, I'm already a husband, I'm already a wife. I just have to go through the process. I'm already filled with joy. I just have to go through the process. Like, put any word in there and just think of it. You're going through the process, but be more kingdom minded than worldly minded, because the world will tell you, oh, you got breast cancer, you're going to die.
Yes.
That's what the world will tell you. Yes. And it's like feeding those messages all the time, right? You just hear it all the time, all the time, all the time. So elevating yourself up out of that. And it's just, you get on a different frequency. You get on the frequency of healing. You get on the frequency of joy. And now you're on the frequency of healing. Everything that has to do with healing is going to be attracted to you. And it's amazing. It's just amazing. But it's really, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's scripture. And so you constantly always renewing your mind. Like, sometimes we got to give ourselves pep talks every minute of the day.
Yes.
Every minute.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Love
it's part
on
of the
me.
process.
Love on yourself.
Yes. That's right. That's right. So I speak healing over you, Roz. I speak total healing over you. You are already healed. You just have to go through the process. You just have to go through the process. That's all.
Yes. Yeah, that's wonderful. And during my radiation time, there was a brother that would come in every day, and he would just be moaning and groaning and fussing. And I grabbed him. I said, "Can I pray with you?" And then I prayed with him, and I bought him some Ensure the next day. And I said, "Listen, you're bringing everybody here. We're trying to think positive. We're having good vibes here. And that's what we need you to do. Go on and get your treatments, and trust God for his healing." And, and it changed the whole atmosphere. I mean, truly believing. And, I got straight on through that. So, well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And, I see some other folks out there that are survivors. Well, thank you. Who is your inspiration woman of the month, would you say?
Oh, wow.
Women's Month.
That's a really interesting question. I don't know that. Let me think about this, because I think that my constant inspiration is always my daughter. My daughter is, she's 22. And she is just somebody that she's just never going to give up. I don't care like what life throws at her. She's just never going to give up. And she's somebody that I just am so proud of her and so grateful to God for what he's done in her life. And she's somebody who she walks in favor. I mean, I know I walk in favor, and we could say, "How you doing?" "Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored." You can say that, but no. She walks in favor. When she makes a decision to like go left, it's like all the angels and all the everything just goes to like help her with going left. It's the most, it's a beautiful thing. But so she inspires me. She inspires me daily. But wow, that's a really good question. I think that my mom has passed on and she's still teaching me lessons. She's still teaching me lessons. Every time I look in the mirror, I see her face.
Yes, you do.
Because we are twinning, my mother and I. And she's just constantly teaching me lessons. But yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. So how did you decide to audition for Sunday's Best? What made you do that?
So funny story. As you can tell, I'm a storyteller. I've got lots of stories, but this one really, I would probably never have auditioned for Sunday Best. I love the show. I'm a fan of the show, and I believe in the show. I think, we've got some incredible artists that have come out of Sunday Best in the same way American Idol and some of these other shows, for sure. The Voice, I mean, Javier Colon is a friend of mine. He was the first winner of The Voice and has had an amazing career. Right? So Javier. So but Sunday Best, I don't know. I was 45 years old. 46. I just turned 47. I'm not ashamed, 46. I had this really great career. I didn't necessarily consider myself a gospel artist, although I had recorded and, done some things in the gospel industry. My bestest friend, Ja'Cory Prothro, let me tell you.
And it's his birthday.
It was his birthday yesterday. Yeah. So shout out to him. Happy belated birthday to him. He was like, you must audition for Sunday Best. And he wouldn't let up. People will say, oh, you should do this. And then you don't do it, but they just let it go. He would not let it go. And he bugged me every single day until I finally sent in my audition piece. And they saw my audition piece and they invited me. They actually invited him as well. We were both part of the top 50. And they flew us out to Atlanta and we auditioned in front of Kurt Franklin and some of the producers of the show. And they asked me to be part of the top 20. And what's so beautiful, excuse me, is that Ja'Cory's dream was to be on Sunday Best. And he was never upset or disappointed that he didn't make it on the show. He was able to just come alongside me and just take the journey with me. And it was just so beautiful. He's such a good friend, just such a good human being, but so supportive and an incredible recording artist in his own right, Roz. He has a single out called My Destiny that is phenomenal.
Wow. Is that gospel?
He's the reason that it's gospel. Yeah. So he's the reason that I auditioned for Sunday Best. And top 4, I never would have written that for myself. So
wow.
Definitely. And I think that it shifted my perspective. So I didn't ever look at it as a competition. I looked at it as ministry. Oh, well, this is another assignment. God has given me this assignment. And so again, I was looking for those God sightings. In those moments.
Wow. So did you have a takeaway from, well, I think you just said it, your takeaway from being on the show was it wasn't an audition. It was God giving you something else to do to minister to people, which you really did.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, I really did. Every song that they gave me, I would find, I would find my own testimony and put it in, the song. And I was really living a life of triumph at that time. I had just come out of, my final chemo session and my final surgeries and all that. So I was really only months out of that. And so for me to then, go be on an international show and to be encouraging people. And here's the other thing, Roz, we were just going into COVID. We were just going into, having to be isolated. And I remember talking to the other contestants in, you know, some of our Zoom planning meetings, because we started the show live on stage in Atlanta. COVID hit, they sent everybody home, and they said, you know, it's going to probably be a couple weeks and we'll have you back in Atlanta. And obviously that didn't happen. They pivoted and shuffled and moved things around and created a virtual season of Sunday Best, which was absolutely astonishing how they were able to put that together. But I remember being in our planning meetings, and I just thought, you know, we have an opportunity to reach out to some people who are sitting on their couches, sitting at home. Maybe they've lost their job. Maybe they're sick. Maybe they're dealing with, they're fighting for like whatever. We have a responsibility and an opportunity to really, really encourage some people in a way that maybe like no current generation has ever needed to be encouraged. Like we really like, wow, y'all, 2020 was like, wow.
Yeah.
So it was a wonderful opportunity for us to really encourage people in a really tough time.
And so I can see the blessing there too, was there was even more people that were watching than would have been because we were all home. So that gave a big boost to BET, and we needed the spiritual. I mean, you can look at a whole bunch of stuff on TV, but this was a spiritual show. So congratulations on that. Tell me about Exceedingly. I'd love to share that with the folks. Was that your CD? You want to introduce it? And then
so Exceedingly is a new single, and it's a song that I wrote some years ago. Maybe 10 plus years ago, I wrote Exceedingly and never really did anything with it, and gave it to an incredible producer here in the Bay Area, musician and producer Marcus McCauley, who is a Berklee School of Music graduate and Bay Area's finest. Incredible. I mean, I just have so many stories about Marcus McCauley. He's got a whole sound stage and a whole like photo situation in his house. He's really converted his house. You wouldn't know from the street looking up to the house, but it's like a Hollywood sound stage and film studio and recording studio. It's just phenomenal. And so he took this song, he heard it, and he was like immediately started, you know, singing the horn sections and the percussion and like immediately linked to this song, and he was able to take it to a whole nother level. And he not only produced, he did all the instrumentation. We do have I believe Elijah Green is playing bass on this. And yes, there's another person, I'm forgetting the name, and so forgive me. I'll come up with it anyway. He also, he did the instrumentation, produced it, but he also produced this video. I think you're getting ready to play the video. And he also filmed and produced this video. And Exceedingly, which is based on, you know, scripture, God can do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or think, according to his purpose that lies within you. So yeah. I guess we'll.
If he can take a mountain and move it, then he can take your problem and solve it. You just gotta give it to him. Open up your heart and let him enter in. Say, I need you to be my guide. I lost all control of my life. He may not come when you want him, but he's always on time. He can. Above your expectations. Oh, so you better think bigger. God can do what you're getting ready to do. Won't you help me say, now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all. You can ask a thing according to the power works within us. We thank you for what you've done, what you're doing, and what you're getting ready to do. We praise him right now because he can do oh, and he will exceedingly and abundantly. Nothing is impossible. He can do it. Remember that all things work exceedingly according to his power.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, so needed that. I mean, it is just the lyrics. You said you did that before. That wasn't even a new song, and you had all that in it.
Right. You know, and songs are, as a songwriter, it's such a wonderful gift to be given the gift of songwriting or writing or poetry, things that you can pen that will come back to encourage you at a later time, right? You just never know. So that's why I think it's so important that if you ever feel the inspiration or you ever feel the impulse to write or create, like, do it. Don't wait.
Yes.
Do it now. Like, let it happen. Let it pour over you and actually, like, put it to action, because you just never know how your gifts will make room for you. And so this song, it's encouraging me now. Like, I'm listening to it, I'm jamming, like, you know, and it's like, wow, it's so cool. It's really so cool.
Well, there's my friend Lud. He's all the way over in the Philippines.
Wow.
And so we'll have to tell everybody where to follow Ashling. And who's that? Hey, Walt, you better sing that song, girl. I think you know Corey. What's up, Corey?
Yes, hey, Corey.
Oh, and there's the Tracy you were talking about. Yes, she's definitely fire. But I also heard you say that God didn't give us the spirit of fear. That was just profound. I mean, because you can be paralyzed by fear.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And fear is one of those things that's a natural part of the human experience. So I think that it's unreasonable and unrealistic for us to think that we're ever going to live life without fear. I mean, if you think about, fear is a good thing in certain cases, right? So if you walk into a situation and that flush, you get that feeling that those, whatever, the butterfly, whatever the feeling is, flush over you, you're like, something's not right. That's, you know, you can call that the Holy Spirit, you can call that your instincts, whatever. But if we didn't have fear, there are things that we probably would do that wouldn't be very safe, right? So if you really think of it from that perspective, God knew what he was doing when he gave us fear, right? But when we talk about a spirit of fear, right? So when we talk about a spirit of fear, that's something that sits on you and actually infiltrates who you are, right? So when a spirit of fear, God didn't give us that spirit of fear, right? So when you feel consumed by it, when it is shifting your decisions, when it's taking you away from your authentic self, now we're talking about a spirit of fear, something that has overtaken your natural self. And so in those cases, you know, I mean, I used to have terrible stage fright. Nobody would ever know that to look at me now.
No.
Yeah. And it was debilitating. I mean, literally debilitating, where they would have to come drag me to get me out on stage. I'm talking about like in my teens, you know, in my teenage years. But what I did was just shift the perspective, you know, instead of saying I'm so nervous now, I just said I'm so excited. You know, it's like shifting the perspective. So if you're going through a situation that you're not sure how you're going to make it through, shift your perspective. You know, just understand that if God took you to it, he's going to take you through it. You know, things as long as you're breathing, stuff is still changing, and there's the ebb and flow of life and all that. So
yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you a funny story. So talking about fear, we have like 1,000 turkeys, you know, in California.
Yes.
And the turkeys were just all over the yard. And I'm just terrified. Well, one day I just said, Lord, guide me. I opened the door and I went running out there and I said, you get away from here. And they all disappeared. And it was like, that's all I had to do.
Wow. That's amazing. That's
all
so
I
great.
had to do.
Right.
All these years, take back, you know, trust him. He got you. And they were like, they were flying, they were running, they were getting it.
Right. And all you had to do was just put one foot in front of the other. Yeah.
That's it.
We make things way bigger than they actually are too. And you know, a lot of times. So I love that. That's awesome.
So do you have, I mean, is there something that people don't know about you that you would share?
Is there something people don't know about me that I would share? I live a very simple life. I live a very, very simple life. I go to work now. I come home. I go to bed. I feed the dog.
Oh, you got a singing dog.
I do. I know. She's like, she kind of is a singing dog. She talks to me. She really does. I don't know what she's saying, but I sure do talk back to her like I understand. And we have little conversations. I don't know what we're talking about, but I think it's the funniest thing.
Oh my God.
She literally,
when you sing, yes, she receives it. She receives it. They can feel your heart.
That's right. That's right. When my mom passed, actually my father passed right after my mother, and really of a broken heart. That's really the only way that we can really describe it. I mean, they were married over 40 years, and you know, we should all be so blessed to have a love that big, a love that deep, that, you know, my dad was like, I'm out. She's not here, I'm out. But when they passed, I was really grief stricken. And as an only child, to have both my parents gone, you know, right away, like, you know, so quickly, one after the other, I went to grief counseling, and my counselor said, you need to get a dog. You need to get a dog. And so I adopted this dog. She was actually sent in from Puerto Rico. And a very good friend of mine, Maite, she has a dog rescue now in Vegas, but she was in LA at the time. And Luna was named Luna. She was very terribly abused, very, very abused. And it was interesting because it seemed like how she looked on the outside is how I felt on the inside. And so I was like, yeah, that's the dog for me. And so we both nursed each other back to health over these last 4 years that I've had her. So It's
Yeah,
it's
wow.
been really cool. But yeah, I live a very simple life. I don't do a lot of hair and makeup on my regular days. I mean, you see, I'm in my Miracle Signs and Wonders hoodie that's available on ashlingcole.com. This is my
Okay.
design. I love to make clothing designs and a bunch of
Really?
really cool designs on ashlingcole.com that y'all can check out. But yeah, my life is very simple. I'll put a couple, maybe a layer of makeup on when I need to, but
Mhm.
I'm jeans and my Converse and a hoodie and a baseball cap on most days. That's my comfort zone. I love to play dress up when I get to do it, but I live very, very simply. I live a
Mm.
very simple life and single. I pray that God is gonna bless me with a husband. I really do.
All right now.
I think it'll happen. It's gonna because I am already a wife. My husband
Okay.
just hasn't found me yet. My husband just hasn't
Okay.
found me yet. I am
Okay.
already a wife. My husband
Okay.
just hasn't found me yet. So, the Bible says he who finds a wife. So it
Yeah.
doesn't say he who finds a girlfriend or he who finds somebody he's compatible with. He who
Okay.
finds a wife. So you got to be a wife before he finds you. That's how
Yeah.
I interpret that. So, one day that'll happen but I'm very happy and content and I have a very small circle of friends and lots of people that love me. So
Mhm.
many people that are just so kind and so generous. I mean, you can see the comments. I mean, even just here, people are so loving and kind to me. And it
Yeah.
just is it's just so wonderful. I feel loved. I feel
Yes.
loved.
That's
Yeah,
wonderful. And you give it back. So you
I
know,
do.
yeah,
I
you
do. I have a
do.
big old heart and I'm not afraid,
Mm.
to just pour because here's the thing, like as I pour, he pours into me, right? So if I'm holding
Yeah.
on to the little bit that I have, I'm missing out on all the extra that he has for me. So I pour it all out. I give it all out. I leave it all on the stage.
Yes.
I give until I can give no more. And he always replenishes. God always has a replenishment for me.
Yes, he does. Let's take a listen to this as well. I think this speaks.
Change me, oh God. Make me more like you.
Come on now.
Won't you change me, oh God? Wash me through and through. Just create in me a clean heart, so that I may worship you. Change me, oh God. Make me more like you. Change me, oh God. Wash me through and through. Just create in me a clean heart, so that I may worship you. I need you to change me. Change me.
Oh, Lord.
Like only you can. Oh, Lord, change me from the inside. Change me. I'm waiting on a word from you today. Change me. I need a change from you. Oh, change me. My heart feels broken today, Lord.
seen you make changes before, so I know. Change me. I know that you can do it, Lord. I know that only you can. You have the power, and I leave myself right in your hands. Lord, I'm crying out to you, Lord. I need a great change, a wonderful change, marvelous change. Now, come on in the room, Lord. Be with me today. Be with me today. Come on in. Let your glory fill this place, Lord.
Jesus,
Fill this
Jesus.
place now. Feel it right now. We welcome you, Lord. Change me, oh God. Change me, oh God. I need your love. I need your spirit. I need a mighty move from you.
Oh
Wow.
my goodness. Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
Wow,
Whew.
wow, wow.
Whew.
Wow, Roz,
Hear
that I think that was from one of my colleagues. His mother passed, and he
Oh.
asked me to sing that for, which is really interesting. I don't think you knew that about that song, but that was what I sent him as my gift to his family, just to bless his family that day. So that you know what came, let God, let your glory fill this place. So I just imagine the family getting together to really mourn the loss of the mother of the family, and he has daughters, and so I knew that they would all be in that room, and wow, what a powerful moment. Wow.
Listen, for right now in COVID, with all
Yeah.
of the losses that we had, that right there is for everybody that is struggling and need God to come in and fill the space, you know. So thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your gift. Oh my God. And you know, I got one more because, you know, we look, no, because how do you balance though the lyric, the R&B in the gospel? Because we're going to close with the R&B, but
yeah, you know, it's really interesting. So, and I see you, Sharon. I see it. I see you. Absolutely. So, Larry Graham hasn't been touring and hasn't been performing. And it was really interesting when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, all of a sudden my calendar cleared. Larry Graham wasn't touring. Sheila E. wasn't touring. I did one thing with Dave Koz, the Dave Koz cruise. And that happened to be like in between treatments and all that stuff when I did the Dave Koz. So basically my schedule cleared and I was able to take that 2-year time period, like I said, with the exception of the Dave Koz cruise, and not do any touring. And then Sunday Best came along. And so I was like, oh, okay, so God is really taking me in this direction. But if the phone rings today and Larry Graham is like, Biscuit, let's go. I'm there. Are you kidding me? Yeah. I can't wait to be back on the stage with Larry Graham. And here's the thing about me. I don't change whether I'm singing, you know, with Graham Central Station, or I'm with Dave Koz, or I'm with Jonathan Butler, or I'm at Yoshi's, or I'm at Hollywood Bowl, or I'm at Madison Square Garden. You can look at every video I've ever done. I don't change. I am singing for an audience of one at all times. At all times, excuse me. And you know, talking about how my life has changed, even if we're release yourself. That's Grand Central Station, but my motivation is always the same. My motivation is always to inspire, to encourage,
Mhm.
and to share my testimony with people that they can say, oh, she made it through. Maybe if
Mhm.
I hold on a little while longer, I can make it through too.
Absolutely. And it's interesting that you say that, because what I captured from you singing with Larry Graham, again, it was from here, it was from the heart, and it ministered to me even in that time. So,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it brought tears to my eyes. And that was the Purple Rain song that you
Mm.
sang with him. And
Oh
it,
man. Oh wow. Yeah.
you just, I mean, killed that. But before we go to that, I just want to say, I'm so proud of you. I'm so
Mm.
proud of all that you've accomplished from the 20 plus years that I have known you and watched you do this rock and roll thing. And you have just been a pillar of strength and inspiration. Many
Wow.
of us, and I wrote this down when I was thinking about you today, many of us develop a faith, but not develop faith.
Mm. Right.
So, yes, yes,
Wow.
absolutely. And you continue sharing your gift and your word. And then just your job is just allowing you to give so much back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that too is just God's just filling you up. And you, I mean, I'm just going to sit back and watch what he does. Because it can only
Awesome.
just go, 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 whether you want it or not. I mean, he'll just bring it all to you. So all those
Yeah.
dreams um, are about to just get
Wow.
crazy. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And let me just take a second, really just to say thank you to you. I'm so glad that this worked out. Shout out to Tiffany Haynes, my
Yeah.
manager, who got this all together, and
Yes.
my
Thank you, Tiffany.
incredible team. Yeah, she's another one of my inspiring women in my life, Miss Tiffany Haynes. Just you know, amazing. I have amazing women around me, which is really
That's
fantastic.
great.
So
Yeah, but
yeah.
I'm a little disappointed. I don't have a phone number. I've known you for 20 plus years. I couldn't even call you when you were going through what you were going through. I'm like, I don't have a number
Oh
for
wow.
Ashling.
That's so, and I didn't know. You're telling me now, and I didn't know, which is really interesting. And that's why I said I live a very simple like life, and so and my circle is very small, and that's probably why. You probably asked around. People were like, I don't know, because
No,
I'm
I
like,
had too much pride. No, I had too much pride to ask around. I should have it.
oh wow. Oh wow! But
I wouldn't do
you should have my phone number, so we're gonna change that. We're gonna change
that.
that for sure, for
All
sure.
right. All right. Well, thank you so much. You guys hang on. I want you to check this out, and then when I come back and allow you to have some words of encouragement to people before we sign off. Uh,
Awesome.
okay. Hang on. Oh, how do I get back to? Uh-oh. Hold on. I gotta figure. Okay. Here we go. Let's try that again.
Wow, wow. Wow. And that's Wilton. That's Wilton on the guitar. Oh my goodness, that literally brought tears to my eyes, Roz. So that, I believe we were in London. We were in London for the Autism Speaks festival, and they asked us to come out with CeeLo Green and Morris Day and the Time, and they asked Larry Graham and Graham Central Station to come out and do a tribute to Prince, and that was our sound check. And if you see in the background, that was sound check.
Shut up.
That was sound check. And you can see in the background, and people, if they want to watch that again, it's on my YouTube, it's on YouTube. You certainly search for it, but you can see they had the video of Prince, a bunch of videos of Prince in the background. And so I just remember, I was like, don't turn around, because I was going to lose it. Because that was very soon after he had passed. I think a matter of months after he passed. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, that takes me back.
You got a chance to meet Prince?
I did. I got a chance to meet him and sing with him and tour with him.
Oh no, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. So he and Larry Graham were best friends.
Yes.
And so I remember the first time I met Prince was at BB King's in New York City, which very sadly has closed down since then. But I was in the dressing room, and like, people talk, and the band is like, one day Prince is just gonna show up and you're not even gonna know how he got there. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And so I'm in the dressing room with Larry and his wife Tina. She always travels with him, as you know. They do not leave each other's side. And I'm in the mirror putting on my makeup, and I just see this little, I'm not trying to be rude, but this little, I'm 5'10", okay? So I can call Prince little, okay? And this person walked behind me, and I just was like, and I look, and it's him, and I was like, I can't even make eye contact. I couldn't even. I couldn't even make eye contact. But so first time he shook my hand, next time I saw him at another show, he gave me a big old hug. And he just poured wonderful things into me. He told, he loved my voice. He was always telling me how great my voice was. He said that my voice was like a trumpet that would just carry out over the music. And he would pull me up on stage. If he ever saw me in the audience at his shows, he would always pull me up on stage. And what a wonderful mentor he was. He was really somebody that just really gave me just the boost of confidence. And he co-signed on me as a singer, which is awesome. Yeah, I miss him. I definitely miss him.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad I was able to share some of those with everybody and with you. So that's what makes the interview so authentic, that we don't rehearse before. And so you feel it as we feel it. Everybody's feeling, the connection with the music that you have shared with us and given us for the same time.
I do want to take a second to give a shout out to Rachel Tanner. Now, Rachel Tanner, I've known for 30 years, maybe. She was friends with my mom, and I think 30, maybe 33 years we've known each other. So good to see her name on here, that she's watching or listening in. So Rachel, I love you. I miss you. And so great to see you on here.
Yes, thank you. And Sharon's good to see you. Thank you, Queen Ashling. Yes. Thank you. You guys be sure and check out her shirt, her sweatshirt. She has merchandise, because you also did some bracelets. Are you still doing that? I just saw that.
I do. So yeah, you can see bracelets on my Instagram. It's actually Ashling Cole Essentials on Instagram. But yeah, you can go to ashlingcole.com, and all my sweatshirts. It's hoodie season, so I think I only really have hoodies on there, but I will be adding in the next couple of days some t-shirts And I even have mask sets where the hoodie and the mask matches. Very, very cute designs.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, while we still have masks, we might as well be cute doing it.
Might as well be cute wearing it. That's for sure.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I would love if you would leave some words of inspiration to the folks.
Absolutely, absolutely. Wow. I mean, if I could inspire you by saying anything, I would probably say, I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days. And oh, so many sleepless nights. Oh, but when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days, they outweigh my bad days. And I won't complain, because God has been good to me. He's been so good to me, more than this whole world could ever be. He's been good, so good to me. He wiped all my tears away, and he turned my midnights into day. So I gotta say, thank you, Lord. I won't complain. You know, no matter what life throws at you, if you shift your frequency, get on the frequency of joy, get on the frequency of gratitude, and you can do that by using your words. You know, words, the scripture says the power of life and death is in your tongue. And so you have the ability to speak life over situations, but you also have the ability to speak death over situations. So when you find yourself in that place that you're using negative language, just shift it. Shift the atmosphere in you and watch the atmosphere around you shift. It's really just that simple. And, you know, a complaint is not going to get you anything but in that negative space. So just remember how good it is to be alive. You've got breath in your body. You've got activity in your limbs. Find the simple things to be grateful for. And man, it just makes life a whole lot better. Live a life of service. Give something away to somebody who maybe doesn't have the things that you have, even if it's a smile. If you have a smile on your face and you see somebody that doesn't have a smile, just give them a smile. It's amazing how it will shift your day. And man, that's really all I got. You can find me at ashlingcole.com, all social media outlets. I've got music available on all digital platforms. And yet, go get you a I'm Expecting Miracle Signs and Wonders hoodie on the site. Yeah, love it. Appreciate you so much, Roz.
Thank you. And thank you so much. I'm so proud of your faith and your journey that you're walking right now. Thank you for sharing with us today at Roz's Happy Hour. So everyone, I'll see you next week. Thank you guys. Please share this broadcast. We look forward to seeing you again next week. Sorry I missed last week because we had a change in schedule, but I'll be back next week with Donnell Jones. I know I told you 3 times I'd be bringing Donnell Jones, but he will be here next week. So tell a friend, come back. I can't say much more after Ms. Ashling Cole. She said it all. And I hope this broadcast was of uplifting for you today. So I'm going to shout out my friend one more time. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Roz. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.